Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to disassemble your 2015 and up Dodge Charger third brake light assembly to install the sequenced assembly or sequenced circuit board. So the tools you're going to need is a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver along with a little mini precision screwdriver, something really, or even a pick would work. Basically, once you have your assembly removed, it's going to look something like this. You're not going to have these wires coming out. I've got these set up just for demonstration purposes, so disregard that for now. But so we'll disconnect it here. So this housing has a red lens that we need to remove first, and to do that we're going to push on this tab here. There are 2 tabs that we just have to push down and then outward, and it'll pop the lens out. So like I said, just apply a little bit of force. Not much, you don't want to break it, but it is pretty solid. Just push it down and then kind of push it outward this way after you push it down. So we've done that side. We're going to push this one kind of down and out there. And just have some patience with it, it'll come out. A little bit of solder there. So we want to use these access holes as well to kind of nudge it out some. So just, like I said, be patient, don't push too hard. Kind of just wiggle, get it back and forth there. There you go, it should pop right out, still intact. We're going to save that for later. So now with the lens removed, we're going to remove the existing circuit board, and to do that there are 3 screws. Got one here, one in the middle, and then one at the end there. So just take your number 2 screwdriver, loosen those up, take them out all the way. Also note while I'm doing this the orientation of the circuit board. You see how the bottom of the boards are kind of rounded over? That's going to be key when we install the new circuit board. So just finish taking these out. Just kind of loosen them up all the way. Once you have those all the way loose, don't worry if they don't come out. We'll flip it over to get the screws. Kind of reach in your hand in there, kind of pull them out. We'll have that one loose all the way enough yet. There we go. So those 2 are out. Set those aside. We need to reuse those. There's the 3rd one. Set it there. So now if you flip the assembly over, you'll see a little wire here. There's a little clip on the bottom of this harness. We just want to push that clip in and then pull the harness out of the existing circuit board. Just kind of do that. So that's free, and then just got to give that a little push and the old circuit board will fall out. I want to hang on to that for later if you ever want to go back to stock. So now we're going to install the sequenced board. So it should come something like this. Just carefully open it up with a knife or scissors. Try not to damage the circuit board when you do cut it. This is a static bag for shipping. Pull that out there. You'll notice that this board has a little hanging wire here, and this is your show mode wire. So we want to cut that. I lied, there's a 3rd tool. You're going to need something to cut a zip tie with. It's pretty easy there. Kind of just pull this, straighten it out like that. Remember I mentioned the orientation of the board, so see how this board is, the corners are rounded over as well, so that those corners want to go down. So we're basically going to take the show wire here and feed it right through this little hole here where the port was. Just kind of feed that down in there. Pull it from the bottom like that. And wiggle it down. Again, check your orientation. Corners go down, rounded corners go down. Kind of slide it in place there. Make sure your holes line up. Make sure that's... Now we're just going to screw it back in place. Let's put these screws. This is the middle screw. I usually go with that one first, kind of center it all up. go. And it's important to do something like this on a surface with like a towel or something, that way you don't scratch your assembly, because this part is exposed in the car and you don't want to get that all scuffed up. So make sure you have something soft to set up on your workstation, that way you don't scratch anything. And be careful when you're screwing these in that the screwdriver doesn't fall off the screw and then bump one of these LEDs or resistors or whatever, because then the board won't work as it should. So finish getting all these in. 3 screws back. Just kind of snug them up. You don't want to get them too tight. You don't need to crank them down. Just enough to hold it back in place. So that's that. Okay. So now we're going to reconnect it. So kind of move your show wire out of the way. And remember, the clip goes down. The clip goes towards the show wire. Just kind of wiggle that back in place, so that's back connected. So now with the show wire, connecting this to a 12-volt source will activate your show mode. When you purchase this sequential light, it comes with the brake mode. The brake mode is activated through the stock assembly, the stock wiring. That activates your brake pattern. Your show pattern is activated through this wire. So if you supply this with 12-volt positive, you can connect that to like a switch up at your dash or connect it to your running lights. There are a couple ways you can do that, but if you need help, if you have any questions on that or need help with it, feel free to reach out to us. I like to pull that show wire back through the socket where the factory harness was. So now it's on top. And before we put the lens back in, let's just give it a test. So you'll have to bring this back to your car, obviously, to do that. Or if you have a 12-volt power supply, you can rig it up the way I have. But bring this back to your car before we put the lens back on, just to make sure everything works. And then we can put the lens back in. That way we don't have to mess with that if there's something disconnected. So I'm just going to hook my wire up here just temporarily. So there's our brake pattern. So that's the swell pattern. All of our brake patterns will basically sequence for about 5 seconds, and then all of the lights come on solid until you release the brake. So that's the brake. And then we can check the show mode if you want to go ahead and hook that up. This is the snake eyes show mode. Pretty cool. So yep, everything's working. So now we can put the lens back in. Just disconnect my wires here. Just make sure the corners, you want to keep those down because those fit right down in that socket. And like I said, this lens, they're pretty solid, so you don't have to worry about breaking it, but just kind of be a little delicate when you push it back in. You don't want to, if you live in a colder climate, you know, plastic is a lot more brittle when it's colder out. Here in Georgia, it stays pretty warm this time of year, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you are in a colder environment, maybe bring this inside and disassemble it, because again, the cold weather can make the plastic a little more rigid and more susceptible to breaking. So that's it. That's the complete reassembly of the housing with the new sequential board in. We'll test it again here. That's pretty cool. It's swell. They all come on, then we let off the brake. Again, your assembly is not going to have this wire. I'm just using this for demonstration purposes, but you connect your brake, does your pattern, and then we'll go to the show mode here. That's got to be there. Show mode, snake eyes. That's it. If you have any questions, like I said, reach out to us. We are available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern time. Our email address and cell number, my direct cell, is on the website. So if you have any questions, please text me or email me. I'll be happy to answer any questions and walk you through it. But it's a pretty simple process of swapping it out. Again, I'd recommend hanging on to your stock board. That way, if you want to, you know, put it back in, or you want to send this board back to us to resequence, if you want a new pattern, you can put this back in temporarily and still be legal. I know some states you can't drive without a third brake light, so hang on to this. Don't throw it away. It's always good to hang on to any stock part you remove. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching.